This is the Backlog Battle Podcast, episode 214.
Eureka!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Backlog Battle Podcast. This is Alex.
And this is Daniel.
The key to a great Yakuza experience to me is a mix of indulging with the ridiculously serious storyline and trying to understand the politics behind, running a criminal organization or being part of it, but counterbalancing that seriousness with the ridiculousness of the side stories and the missions and the mini games. Because, I was thinking about this the other day and thinking about my gameplay loop of what that actually means when I play a Yakuza game. Because in Grand Theft Auto, for example, which is an even more open game, you have a mission structure that is fairly rigid, but allows you for some, leeway of experimentation, but a lot of the activities that you do in the game have some sort of criminal element to it. Whereas in Yakuza, if you go for a side mission, sometimes there is no criminal element, and actually for the most part, there is no criminal element, it's a lot of ridiculous shit. And to me, because of the interplay between the sub-stories and the main storyline, that's what makes a Yakuza game for me, is the combination of both, not exclusively either or. Because really, if you think about it, and I think we've mentioned this before, you need to have a little levity in order to counterbalance the seriousness of your game. Because if you're just all serious all the time, it could be overwhelming from a feeling standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, And
I hear that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, for example, that is a completely humorless game. It is.
Wow.
Based on what I played too, and I played not very much. I would say 30 minutes at most. But yeah, that game, playing that game is kind of insane because the main character is suffering from psychosis, so she's hearing voices in her head. So as you're playing the game, you are also hearing the voices in her head. And I can only imagine playing that game with headphones must be fucking maddening.
Yeah. And I understand why they're doing it that way, I've played a bunch of the game. I have a try-play on it on my channel. But it's sometimes it can be grating, and thankfully Hellblade doesn't get too much like that, and even then you could just turn it off. But I can't imagine myself sitting down and playing that for a stream or something, right? From beginning to end, and just playing that game, because that is too much, even for myself, who plays a lot of video games. And even the more serious games, like Mass Effect and Final Fantasy, they find the humor in their stories so that way you can counterbalance the seriousness. And thinking about all the stories in the Yakuza universe, they are super, super serious. They totally are. There are some ridiculousness from time to time, but it is very serious. The consequences are pretty dire sometimes, Yeah.
Yeah, even if some dumb things are happening, it's all treated as being no, this is some real shit.
Yeah. But then you just venture a little bit away from that and, start doing whatever on the streets, and that's where the ridiculous shit happens.
Yeah, that's when you start bowling for a turkey and then you get a chicken and call him Nugget.
Exactly. And assign that, chicken to be your, real estate agent. Because why not, right?
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the crazy thing too with the Yakuza series, is that it embraces the fact that it's a video game. You can't walk down the street in Yakuza and not expect a random fight from thugs or drunkards or whatever collection of
drunkards.
Yeah, whatever collection of names they have on their system. You will just encounter these characters, ridiculousness, and that's kind of the beauty of the game. It really is. It's almost like two different feeling games in one, with just a few things holding it together tenuously, for that matter.